why do I lose that when I get thoughts or when I go out of here?
Because thoughts, if we use the analogy of awareness like a transparent screen, a screen without borders and not made of anything apart from pure knowing, and thoughts are like a movie that appear on that screen, like your movie appears on your TV, and in the same way that the movie seems to obscure the TV screen, so our thoughts seem to obscure the presence of awareness. Now, why does a movie seem to obscure the screen? When you're watching a thriller, why do you seem to cease seeing the screen and become afraid? It's because we become fascinated by the content of the movie, and in that moment we become involved with the movie, and we seem to cease seeing the screen. In fact, we never cease seeing the screen because all there is to the movie is the screen, but we seem to cease seeing the screen. It's exactly the same thing. We become seduced by our thoughts and feelings, sensations, perceptions. And as a result of this exclusive fascination with them, the screen of awareness upon which our thoughts are playing seems to be obscured by them, but is never really obscured. Right now, this experience, this perception of this room, it is appearing, yes? This room appears to you. What is it appearing on or in? Anything that appears must appear in something. What is the perception of this room appearing in? Awareness. In exactly the same way that a movie appears on a screen. The awareness is not veiled by the perception of this room. It is shining in the perception of this room. But it's only because we give reality to the objects. And by giving reality to the objects, we deny the presence of awareness. It's like when we're watching a movie, we give reality to the landscape. We think it's a real landscape. At the moment we believe it's a real landscape, we seem to cease seeing the screen. We deny the presence of the screen. It's not that the screen is missing. In fact, we're always only seeing the screen. It is the belief that the landscape is real. That is what prevents us from seeing the screen. It is our belief that all of these objects are real in their own right. I'm not suggesting that experience is not real. It is real. But it is in giving credibility, separate existence to all these objects. It is that belief that obscures awareness, which is actually shining in all experience. That is why, as a first step here, we turn away from the distracting objects and we focus on awareness. In time, over this week, we'll go back to the objects, because this rejection of objective experience is just a skillful means. It's just a tool. But at some stage we have to go back to experience and look at it again from the point of view of awareness. So we'll go there later. And there is a very deep habit in each of us, due to our conditioning, of allowing thoughts, images, feelings, sensations and perceptions to obscure awareness. It has become our norm. Most people go through their entire lives without even noticing there is something that knows my experience. Can you imagine spending your life watching movies all day long and never noticing something called the screen? It's inconceivable. And yet most people go through their entire lives without ever once asking the question, but what is it that knows my experience? How come there is experience? So infatuated we are through our cultural conditioning with the content of experience, rather than the nature of experience. So it's a habit, and this habit doesn't just disappear when we first hear once about awareness. The habit is so strong that the mind goes back again and again and again to the objects, and that is why in this teaching we go back again. To counter that habit, we go back to awareness again and again and again, and all these different pathways are provided in the teaching so that the mind becomes accustomed to going back again and again and again to the subject of experience. That's why I think I said sometimes last night, for those of you that have been to the retreats before and asked this question, don't feel that this is a question just to be asked once. You ask yourself again and again and again and again. What is it that knows or is aware of my experience? To begin with, we ask the question, and it may take some time to, as it were, walk our way backwards to awareness. But the more familiar we are with the question, the less and less time it takes. And in the end, we don't even need to formulate the question. What is it that knows or is aware of? We just have the thought and we go straight back. And until we become established as awareness, until we feel, not just understand, until we feel I am awareness, as strongly as we used to feel I am a man or a woman. Then, when that is true of us, we no longer need to use the pathway. What is it that knows my experience? Or who am I? Or am I aware? Or any such question. But until we are firmly established as awareness, we should use these tools.